Hello, 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 and welcome to Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. I pray everybody is having a wonderful evening. We are live, we are live, we are live. How is everyone doing this evening? Hey, hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Come on in and let me know where you're watching from. Say hello, say hello, say hello. Well, we're going to start it off with our Did You Know? Did you know in Black history, Mary Beatrice Davison Kenner, born May 1912 to January 2006, Kenner invented the first sanitary belt. With the in-belt, moisture-proof napkin pocket known as the menstrual pad, she created this between the years 1956 and 1987. Kenner received a total of 5 patents for her household and personal item creations. Kenner also shared a patent with the toilet paper holder, along with her sister Mildred Davidson. With this patent for the carrier attachment and also with the patent for the carrier attachment for the walker that we have today, and she got that patent in 1959. That is your Did You Know in Black history. Ain't that amazing? We are finding out a lot of things that Black people have contributed to our society, even though we feel like they trying to say we haven't done anything or whatever else, but we are doing things in history that is coming out. They are coming out. All right. Well, tonight's show is going to be kind of emotional, kind of ongoing. It's going to be a lot that I am going to be discussing. I'm going to try to see if we could get some comments, some interaction back and forth here on the program. I want to know, let's start off with the discussion about the most recent shootings of Dante Wright and 13-year-old Adam Toledo. Even though we're going through the most watched trial in, I'd say, American history, and that is the Derek Chauvin case. But now we have 2 brown and Black people who were just murdered. Yes, I said murdered by the police. We could not even go a whole year without incident. Okay, we couldn't even get a whole year without a police officer murdering a Black or brown person. So let's start with Dante Wright. As you know, Dante Wright was a young man who he was in a car with his girlfriend and he was being pulled over. Now, from what I understand and what I read, he was pulled over for expired registration tag. Even though a lot of things out there saying is because of the air freshener. Now listen, in Minnesota, I found this out, y'all. It baffled me. Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, there's a law that you can't hang air fresheners from your rearview mirror. You can get a ticket for this. That baffled me. I was like, wow, okay. Well, anyway, so this young man was pulled over by 3 police officers. I don't know why I took 3, but they said that the female officer, was actually training the officer that was in the car. So he gets pulled over. As you know, he gets out. They tell him he had an outstanding warrant. He gets out the vehicle and they had him against the car. Now, this is where I had an issue. This is just me. I don't know about anybody else. I'm just going to say for me, he was out the car. He was being handcuffed, right? And they were telling him what he was being arrested for. I assumed that he did not want to go to jail. That's why he did his little maneuver and got inside the car. So I don't know if y'all have any veterans out here. Let me know, because I am trying to see how he gets in the vehicle, and in the vehicle they're trying to pull him out. Well, guess what? The female officer was like, she got her taser and wanted to tase him. Now, as a 26-year veteran in the police force, I do believe you would know the difference between a weapon and a taser. And let me see if I can show you all. No, it's not gonna let me do it. Okay, I wanted to show you the picture I had, but it wouldn't come up. Anyway, the weapon is black. We all know it's black, and it weighs about 8 to 10. And then the taser is like maybe 0.2 ounces or something like that. And a taser has a green or yellow strip around it. So I was watching the video, and in the video, the officer kept saying, "I'm a taser," and the officer kept saying, "Taser." Now, I am sure that when she pulled it out and was like, she didn't see a strip on there, and again, I know a Glock, you have that, it's like a double click, or if you pull it, real hard, it just isn't the one easy pull. So it had to click, to go back and shoot. I'm like trying to figure out, where did she lose her thought or concept or anything to where she didn't realize that she did not have a taser in her hand. And she shot him in the chest. This all was caught on video. And afterwards, she was shocked. She was surprised that she shot him. She couldn't believe that she shot him. Now, I want to know what you all think. Do you think that she made a mistake, or that she would have known it was a taser? I mean, it wasn't a taser, or I really want us to be interacting, but I don't know. I don't think that she, I don't know. I feel like, in a hasty decision, she made a quick judgment and she didn't realize. Chris, you saying she knew? Okay, so one of my friends says, she's on my other Facebook, that she knew. So I don't know. I can't say for myself, but there's a young man out here now. His family is grieving the death of this young man. Now, she is in jail for manslaughter. I don't know. I'm not a police officer. I don't know how that equates to I'm pulling out my taser. But this is the thing that got me. She said the taser was in a spot that she usually carries her. No, the gun was in the spot where she usually carries her taser. So she switched her stuff around. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. That right there to me was, were you looking for something to shoot, or you was just, let me get this black kid under control? Now, I feel that, and you can chime in, tell me how you feel about it, tell me what's going, what you think might be it, but I feel that they should have at least let him go, and they could have pursued him. They had all his information. They could have went to his house and arrested him. One, because he evaded arrest. So that was another warrant. And two, because he already had a warrant out. So they could have easily got to him. I don't believe they should have pursued it in that way to where this young man got killed. And I was listening to an interview his parents did where he was telling his mom he felt like he was going to die. Now, just think of being a parent, how this actually would make you feel. Your child's telling you that he was shot and he feel like he is going to die. That is something that no parent, nobody should ever, ever have to go through. Nobody. I don't care who you are. So I'm in it on a fence with that one. He had an outstanding warrant. Now, just because he resisted arrest does not mean it gives you the right to shoot him. Do people understand that? Just because I resist arrest or I resist a little bit does not give you the right to punch me in my face, kick me in my back, put your knee on my neck, or shoot me. They are trained to de-escalate situations. I believe they are. I'm not a cop, never been a police officer, but in the military, you get maneuvers. They show you how to maneuver things to get out of situations and to handle your business. So this whole scenario just took me for a loop. So I don't know what you all think, but I feel that was just too much. It went out of hand. Did she automatically say, "Oh my God, I shot him"? Yes, she did. And I think she was surprised, shocked at herself. But it still does not negate the fact that she pulled her weapon out and shot a young man in his chest and killed him. That right there should haunt her for the rest of her life. I don't know if jail is the right thing, but I know that will haunt her if she is really sympathetic behind the fact that she shot him and she didn't mean to. That was just, what y'all think. I don't know. This is just me. This is just something that I feel that we all should, look at. Now, let me go on to the other one. Then, what's her name? Officer Ann Potter. That was her name. Now, the next day, which was the fastest arrest per se when it comes to police officers getting in trouble for committing such acts, the next day she was arrested for manslaughter. Now, at first she didn't have a bond. They didn't give her a bond. They didn't, I don't know if they was going to try to get her out or whatever, but then she got $100,000 bond. So that means 10%. It was 15. I don't know. I know in Texas it went up to 15%. So 10%, 15% of that $100,000 bond I had to pay before she could get out of jail. This whole scenario it's baffling to me that you can have a 26-year veteran in the police force that doesn't know the difference between a taser and a weapon. I'm hurt behind it. I know his family is hurt behind it. Now, I was listening to, his name is Adam. Oh God, I forgot his name. Adam somebody. He has a little thing on Facebook. And he had talked about this the day after it happened and stated that, well, first of all, he shouldn't have been resisting. And I'm going to say this again. Just because you were resisting or you resist arrest does not mean that you need to be shot to death. Period. Tase me. Put me in what you call the not a chokehold, but subdue me some way, get me down on the ground, and handcuff me. I can't get out of that. Once I'm handcuffed, what can I get out of? Nothing, right? So he was saying that that if he wouldn't have resisted, it wouldn't have resulted to this. And I'm like, regardless if he resisted arrest, regardless, did she have to shoot him? Now, I know what a taser feels like. A taser, the weight of a taser. I know what a gun feels like in my hand. Two different weights I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a cop, so I wasn't in the heat of the moment. You're welcome, Angela. There was no way. But again, the taser has like a green strip around the tip and the handle, or a yellow strip. So I'm trying to figure out, did you not see it? What? Something to me is a little fishy. Did she was like, hey, it's been a year, not even a year. Let's go ahead and kill another black person. I don't know the mindset that she had or any one of them had, but do I feel it was manslaughter? I do. I feel that it was manslaughter. We won't know until we see how the trial goes, how she go, how things go. If it goes to trial, if the DA decides to go ahead and actually go through with it, she takes a plea. Whatever the case, a young man, Dante Wright, I'm going to say his name, is killed behind something childish or misleading. He should not have died that day. Even though I believe we all have a expiration date, and there's probably 50 million other ways he could have died, but at the hands of a police officer, someone who was supposed to protect and serve you, killed you because you had an outstanding warrant and you resisted arrest. It's no way. We can't do that. We can't keep going on with that. Now, after that, we still in the streets protesting, trying to get justice for this young man, Dante Wright. Bam. Here we go. A 13-year-old boy, Adam Toledo, shot dead. Shot and killed by a police officer. With his hands raised in the air, he was shot dead. What in the world? Not even a week later, a 13-year-old boy, child, was shot dead. Now, let's take back. He was with a 21-year-old, or was around a 21-year-old young man. The guy had the weapon, gave it to Adam. So they say, what Angela says, too many oops, my bad, with these officers. A 50-year-old Ohio girl that called the cops to help her was just killed by a trigger-happy cop today, right before the verdict was read earlier. Oh my God, I didn't see that one. Oh no, that's sad. That's too much, Angela. That's too much. I'm gonna read into that because that's crazy. This young man, Adam. Okay, so he takes off running. Right, I got it. He was fleeing the police again. Does that warrant a police officer to shoot you? You could have done a warning shot in the air or the gate because he was by a gate, hit the gate, something. You didn't. So then the thing about it, he stopped running and turned around with his hands up, and the cop still shot him. What kind of mess is this? Tell me, people. What kind of mess is this? The cop said that he feared the little boy had a gun. But as you can clearly see in the body cam, there was no gun in Adam's hand. He had his hands up. They found the gun a few feet from him. He threw the gun, hoping, I'm thinking, that he would come out of this alive, that he would not be shot. Too many oops, as you say, Angela, for these police officers. Too many oops. You oops, I didn't mean to shoot him. This young boy is turning around. You see he has nothing in his hands. And you still shoot him. What does that say about the people in them? The cops are people that are supposed to serve and protect us. If we call you when something is happening, we don't mean to be getting gunned down in our homes, out in the street, on our front porches, in our cars. This is getting out of hand. What do y'all think? Y'all think this too much? Because I think it is a little bit too much. Too much craziness, too much going on. People are doing this a little bit. This is getting too much. I don't know what's it going to take, but something has to give. We have two within a week, not even a week of each other. Dante Wright, Adam Toledo. Now, as Angela told me, a 15-year-old Ohio girl had called the cops to help her, and the cops shoot her. Where are we at, people? Where are we at? What is going on in America? We couldn't even wait a whole year. We couldn't even wait for the verdict for Derek Chauvin before we started shooting and killing black and brown people again. What is it going to take for us as the people in America to realize this ain't about politics? This is not about right or left or blue or green. This is about humanity. This is about people who live in this country, whose children live in this country, who are paying taxes, who go to work. Let me tell you something. Stop with the black on black crime. No, we're going to cut that out. There's white on white crime out here. There's white on black crime, black on white crime, black on Asian crime, Asian on Asian crime. There's crime out here. We know this. Stop comparing police officers killing black people to black people killing black people. Hey, if statistically white people die by white people more than black people die by black people. Statistically. But we don't hear about that because those are those uppity class neighborhoods. The black people killing each other is because of poverty, no outlets. Again, it's all a systemic racism thing because you put them in a situation where they can't get themselves out of, and they're going to try to fight their way out of. Fight or flight. That's it, right? Fight or flight. But you have these officers who are sitting up here who are supposed to protect us, guide us, help us. Now, let me go ahead and say this. Not all officers are bad. We know this. We have good police officers, good DAs, bad cops, good cops. We know all that. We know about all of that. However, right now, within the past 11 to 12 months, to 11 to 13 months, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We, as a society, cannot keep going through this. We cannot keep killing off our black and brown people. I don't know if it's what do you call it? The when they are like the God complex, they feel like because they're all police officers, they're God and they can do what they want and they're going to get away with it. Well, guess what? They have been. Yes, they have. They have been getting away with it way too much. Do I think that the unions are put in place and they don't take the cops killing people seriously? I feel this is yo-yo. Police officers should get the same treatment that regular Americans do when they go with the oops of killing somebody. I can go out here and say, Lord, I thought I pulled my taser and shot him. I'm going to jail, right? Ain't no oops, I didn't mean to. I thought I pulled my taser because I live in Texas. Texas is an open carry state, so I can openly carry a weapon in this state. And if you are in my space and I'm trying to protect myself, I can protect myself at all costs. However, I can't just go out here and I'm at Walmart and I have my weapon on me and I get in a confrontation and we start scuffling and I think I also have a taser that I'm pulling my taser and pull out my gun and shoot somebody. I will be in jail, period, right? Same thing. They're white men and women who are killing the black and brown community. Not just men, we got the women too. When is enough going to be enough? In all actuality, we as a collective group, especially black people, black and brown people, need to come together, join hands, stop fussing and fighting with each other and all this other stuff, and figure out a way to help and guide into laws and get it to where you can't keep doing this to us. Don't go out there tearing up neighborhoods because you got to still live in them neighborhoods. I'm sorry. You still living in the neighborhoods. Why go out and tear them up? That right there does not make sense to me. We still have to go past legislative. Now, I know here in Texas, I was telling my father earlier, we have to go vote this week. Well, by next week, we have to vote. So we're going to vote either Saturday or Sunday. We're going to vote. There's early voting here for our local people. So go vote. Vote for your police chiefs. Vote for your mayors, your governors, your local senators, House of Representatives, constables, all of them. You have to vote for the right people to put in the right place. Now, with all of this, brings me to the Derek Chauvin case. All of this brings me back to this trial that has been going on for the past, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, if that. They allotted 4 weeks and then it compacted down. Now, let me be the first to say, I was ecstatic, happy, jumping for joy that we got a guilty verdict. I was ecstatic. But let me ask you a question. If his commanding officer or all the police officers that were against him, do you actually think that he would have gotten a guilty verdict? If they would have stood up for him, do you think that it might have persuaded the jury a little bit to not guilty on, let me rephrase that. Would you have thought that he would got guilty on all 3 counts, or just 1 or 2, or none at all? Because in actuality, he had more police officers against him. And and this is like I told my father today. I believe the reason why those police officers spoke out against Chauvin is because the world saw it. Mm-hmm. The world saw it. The entire world. England, Austria, Japan, China, Korea, Turkey, they all saw this man be murdered on national TV. They synced it. Mm-hmm. And I believe the reason why it was as big as it was is because at that time we was in a pandemic and everybody had to stay home. Everybody watched this. I said that before. I said that I believe that with him, that was like an ice on the cake, because we had Ahmaud Arbery that in February. We had Breonna Taylor probably a couple of weeks before him. So we had all those going on, but the world didn't see all that. It was on CNN, Fox, and all that stuff, but the world didn't see all that at that time, not literally looking at this particular thing happening. So that's right, Angela, agree. When you have people who actually seen it in other countries, actually speaking on it in other countries, in thinking that things are, this is America. This is where people come to for freedom. And they are over there killing people. So I believe that the reason why we even got the whole trial thing, and it was a very diverse jury. It wasn't a jury of a 12, 15 white people. 12, it was a mix, young, old, Asian, black, white, Hispanic. It was a good mixture of people within this jury. And this jury, now listen, y'all. I watched the trial. And I watched from, now I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't watch the 9-year-old little girl. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to watch that young little lady give her account, because that's going to traumatize her for a while unless she gets counseling. But I listened to the first responder who was the firefighter, the lady that wanted to come and help, that was denied. I listened to the 911 dispatcher who said she didn't care whether about she was going to be a snitch or not. I listened to the young man who said he was calling Tonganum a punk and all this other stuff because of what they were doing. I listened to his police chief saying that is not how they do things in their office, and he was not trained this way. I listened to all that, and I agree. But to me, the even the medical examiner got it, whatever. But to me, the best witness who was there, the best witness who brought it home for the prosecution was Dr. Chauvin. Hands down. Because he was that was his specialty. That was something that he studied for his living. Something he spent years doing. 30 plus years doing. He showed the graph, and so listen, I was in the house and he was saying pull on your trachea, and I was doing it too. I was trying to figure out what it was and in the back of the neck and what he was saying. We don't think about this stuff because we're regular human beings. We don't study stuff like that. That stuff that whatever. We don't think about stuff like that. But he broke it down, I want to say, to layman's terms where you can understand how this really contributed to or caused George Floyd's death. Now, a few days after that, he had Dr. Fowler come on, and Dr. Fowler rebutted, which he was saying carbon monoxide and all this other stuff. I get whatever we do, we breathe out carbon monoxide, got all that. However, he was not an expert in the pulmonary area. He wasn't an expert in no field. He was just a doctor that could rebut because he studied certain things. So how can you rebut something that an expert in the field actually did for his lifelong work? And then Chauvin came back and rebutted what Fowler has said about the hydroponics, the thing that's in your throat, and how it interferes with the breathing and all that stuff. So it broke it down. Now I was like, dang, I didn't know that all that contributes to you breathing in your air. I thought it was just a lung. I didn't know we had all that, the esophagus and all this other stuff that contributed to you breathing. Your sinus canal, all that stuff. It baffled me. So it was really interesting to see this. My bestie had asked me, she said, what if Chauvin got on the stand? I said the defense would have to be desperate because there's no way that he could have talked himself out of this one. There's no way. You can't say, I didn't know, because the paramedics came and you still didn't move off the man's neck. They said he ain't had no pulse and you still didn't move off the man's neck. Nothing. You sat there with your knee checked out, daydreaming all you can on this man's neck, and 2 people on his back, which I'm waiting for their trial to come. So with all this, we got a guilty verdict today on all 3 counts. I was, again, ecstatic, happy, but I was shocked because we ain't never had this before, y'all. We have never had a police officer, become guilty of killing a black man or woman ever. No. I don't remember. I don't recall. If I'm wrong, let me know, y'all. Let me know if I'm wrong. but I don't remember that. And this, to me, again, is because the world's seen it, and the fact that uh it was videotaped. We were seeing it live, like in action. We were seeing everything that went on. We were seeing the crowd really want that. I mean, the crowd telling him to get off. The officer Tao telling people to move back. The other two men on his back and him moving. We've seen all that. And I asked again. This is just because I wanted to know. A friend of mine that's a police officer. She said usually a counterfeit $20 bill, he probably would have got a ticket, a fine, or we would. He said we could have took him to jail, but he would have got out the next day. It wasn't going to be that horrific, right? So we are just doing a lot in this country. And I challenge each and every one of you that are rebroadcast, that are looking on this live, to see where it is in your heart and your friends. Why does this keep happening? When are we going to come together and say enough is enough? When are we going to come together as a country and be like, we can't keep going through this? When are we going to say, stop shooting us? When are we going to pass laws in the state or federal level that holds police officers accountable for incidents like Dante Wright, Adam Toledo, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin? When are we going to come together as a country, as a nation, to say this is enough? Like, we cannot keep, our governments cannot keep allowing this. We cannot keep getting shot to death and put down, like, I want to say dogs, because we may resist arrest. Okay, we may resist arrest. But me resisting arrest, does that mean I need to be shot? As Angela said, me calling a little 15-year-old Ohio girl called the police to help her, and they shot her. What was Cameron Prescott, age 6? He was shot by the police. George Steeney, age 11, shot by the police. Tamir Rice, shot by the police. These are little kids. Little children. Breonna Taylor, shot sleeping in her bed. And the police officer, one of the police officers was there, is getting paid to write a book about it. What kind of stuff is going on in America? I understand we're the land of the free, the home of the brave, and all that. But what kind of stuff is that for us? For the person that was there to kill, that killed a woman sleeping in her bed, to get a book deal, to write about the incident. Mm-hmm. Not only did he get a book deal, he tried to sue her boyfriend. Yeah. When it starts, her boyfriend. Angela says, when it starts being more of their kids' family than our brown, black kids' family, that's when America will start saying enough is enough. Right now, most act as it is nothing. And you're correct. And you're correct. But and this is where I feel like they're out to get black and brown people. And the reason why I say that, what's his name? Dylan Roof, the young boy who shot up the church, and they took him to Burger King, got arrested, no incident. The guy who shot, I don't know his name, who shot up the Asian Mark, killed 8 people at a massage parlor, arrested without incident. I I mean, I've seen a guy on TV on YouTube who actually fought the police, took his baton and was hitting the police, jumped in the police car, tried to run him and his partner over, spun off, and they tried to run after him. Didn't pull out a gun, didn't pull out nothing. Nothing. None. But he was arrested eventually without incident. Without incident. There was another state trooper, white lady, who called for backup because she was a man was trying to resist arrest. He punched her in the face, the party that came to help her in the face, and pulled off. Nobody drew their gun. Not one time. Nobody drew a weapon. Nobody. He was arrested a few miles down the road. He was arrested. He wasn't shot. But what that to me is, it can happen. They just choose not to do it when it comes to black and brown people. But I don't understand. Don't fear us. Hey, we just trying to get it by like everybody else. We out here hustling hard just like they are. Just like they are. And it's getting ridiculous. I was watching, I don't know if you all seen a show called Them on Amazon. And it was like the early 1970s or something like that. And it would happen in California. And it reminds me kind of today. How black people are treated, even though they have the education, they have the money, they do what's right, they speak, they say hello, are being mistreated so much because of the color of their skin. That was back in the late 1960s, early 1970s. This is the year 2021. And white people, white America, not all, let me rephrase that. Not all of white America, but most of white America act like we are the enemy. And we are not. We are not. Y'all brought us over here. I was born here, so I'm an American. You know, my ancestors was brought over here. Y'all probably are not from here. We all are foreigners on this land. And in that movie, she said, the white lady, can't remember her name, said that her father and grandfather built this country. This country was built on the sweat of their on their backs. And I said, what? But it rebutted because then the black lady was like, since when did y'all do anything physical to build this country? I don't know. I even look at what happened on January 6th at the Capitol. Over 1,000 more people, a whole bunch of people storming the Capitol. Only how many arrests? Maybe 5? Or something like that. But if it was a whole bunch of black people, we would have been tased, shot, and killed. We wouldn't have made it inside the Capitol. This is America, y'all. This is a country that I served, my best friend served, my kids' father served, a lot of people I know and love served, to have freedom here, to protect these people, to have freedom here. And to come and get treated disrespectfully, seeing people shot down and killed, black and brown people, for no reason, because you did a oops, I thought. Or because that person resisted. Well, you can't say Adam Toledo didn't resist. He had his hands up. Breonna Taylor didn't resist. She was asleep. Yeah. Yeah. Tamir Rice was in the park. Had a toy gun. They knew that that 13-year-old boy, it wasn't going to kill them. It is all getting out of control. And we, as America, black, brown, white, blue, green, yellow, whatever color you are, we have to come to terms with it and understand that this has got to stop. Now, for me, I know here I'm trying to speak. I'm going to speak with the mayor and some of the city council members to see. So it won't happen in my area. Let's just say that. I pray. I have a lot of things in my head that I want to do, and so if we can get laws passed on a federal level that police officers will get the same stipulations and the same sentences that regular people get. Now, I believe in the union, y'all. I do. I believe in the union, but the union sometimes messes up when it comes to protecting people that are wrong, that you know they did it, that you've seen them do it, and you're still protecting them. Sometimes it just don't work that way. So I'm going to leave you with this tonight. We have a lot of work to do, people. We have a lot of work to do within our communities. We need to get on board with your local government as well as your federal government and come up with some legislative or something to protect us, black and brown people, because we're dying at an enormous rate for no reason. And we need to figure out, and we not only do we need to figure out, the black and brown people, but my Caucasian brothers and sisters, what are y'all doing to help to stop this, to make it know that it's not okay, even police officers. Now, let me, before I get off this live, this the guy said that they have this my father even said that they have a silent code that you don't tell on another officer. That's the dumbest thing in the world. I get it, because you don't want nobody you tell on, and then you at a raid or something, and then they don't have your six, and you get killed over something stupid because you told. Listen, y'all, and there's any police officers that y'all know, it's not okay not to do what's right, to stop something that you feel is wrong. Now, if any one of those police officers that was there that day with George Floyd would have stood up for him and said, man, get off his neck, stop it, I believe that young man would have been alive today. I do. I really do. I'm happy that we got the guilty verdict. I'm ecstatic that we got the guilty verdict. But we still have a lot more to do. A lot more to go. A long way to go. A long way to get this country back. Well, it was never back. And Black lives do matter. We do. Black lives matter. Don't come with me with all lives matter, because I know all lives matter. But Black lives matter too. And we need to start believing that Black lives matter. We need our Caucasian brothers and sisters, Asian brothers and sisters, to really start helping and putting it out there that we don't have to die by the police like that. We are human. We are human. And we have families that we would love to come home to every night. We don't know whether to comply or not. Oh, wait, I completely forgot about the lieutenant. They got pepper sprayed by the police and talked too dirty. That was on my notes too. I'm sorry, y'all. I completely forgot about him. A military officer. Because they said they couldn't see his license plate. And clearly they lied. You know, yes, Black lives always matter, Angela. Yes, we have. But we need this. We need some kind of, we need something. We need help. We need help from our police officer, police union, something. Because this is getting way out of hand. And like I said before, we haven't even gotten a year past before 2 other people, black and brown boys, got shot by the police. We ain't made it to May 25th. We ain't make it, y'all. I guess they figure now that everything is opened up, we're not going to see it and think about it as often. But as long as I have a voice, I'm always going to speak what is right and what is wrong. So I thank you all for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. And know that we should be all equal. We're all equal. We all have to make money just like everybody else. And we all bleed red just like everybody else. We are no different from anybody else. So please stop gunning us down like we're cattle. Thank you all. You all have a blessed night. I'm about to lose my voice. Love you. Bye.